Would you believe it, as the results so far here in Group E have been as surprising as they ever are in WCS Europe? We now find ourselves in the lower bracket game, and one of these players is going home. It's going to be VortiX or jjakji.
That's right, and to confirm the bracket once again for you, Cass and Harston in the winners game will be playing next. But for now, VortiX versus jjakji. VortiX, the player who has played 5 Premier Leagues and has been to the round of 16 or above every single time, going up against jjakji here, who's got a pretty good win record and good results across WCS himself. But his main goal right now is to stay top 16. Sadly, I can't believe it. One of these players is going to be eliminated in the round of 32. Is jjakji going to go back-to-back seasons with elimination in the round of 32? Is that's what happened last season? Or is VortiX finally going to drop for the very first time?
We'll find out. Let's get into game number 1, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. It's our red Terran. It is My Insanity's jjakji. And up to the top left, it's our blue Zerg. It's Millennium's VortiX. And I've got to say, I am so amazed that once again we have these kinds of upsets going on. Both of these players in this matchup, respectively across WCS Europe, 80% win ratio for VortiX in this matchup, 85% win ratio for jjakji in this matchup. So this is going to be a good one. Yeah,
I mean, these players have met 4 times before in the past. It is 2 games apiece. And there's been times where VortiX has actually played against jjakji and just kind of walked over him. There's been times where jjakji says, all right, it is the round of 16 time, round of 8 time. I will kill you, nerd. And he has killed him off quite easily. So they really have traded wins. And every time they've played against each other, more so than being close series, it's been one-sided one way or the other. That's something to remember about these series for sure. I don't know which way this is going to go, though. No way. No way.
And you know what? I wonder how VortiX actually approaches this match, because I feel that across the entirety of WCS seasons, I feel that VortiX has probably studied jjakji more than he has Cass. So does he find holes in jjakji's games here? Does he go for a little bit of exploiting weaknesses early on? Or does he just revert back to what he was doing against Cass? Just some like big macro play?
Yeah, I mean, I think that VortiX is definitely just, well, he has to take this, or the previous game, as a warm-up ready for this one. He's already identified a couple of problems that were happening in his game. That was the Medivacs not being dealt with very well. But everything apart from that was pretty spot on, really, from VortiX. But jjakji plays, I mean, Terran versus Zerg, it really depends on the player, but usually plays very similar in each game, usually a decently played out macro game. And that's how jjakji does like to play this. He does have a couple of tricks when it comes for, you know, Hellbat drops or some Banshee play. But with going command center first here and a single gas, this is leaning towards the 3rd command center play, which VortiX has already played a couple of times today.
And the SCV is going to head on over and look around and be like, ah, you didn't go hatchery first. Well, okay, that's all right for me. Behind all of this, though, going to poke on in, have a little bit of a look at the gas maybe, and then get right on out. Doesn't want to be sticking around anytime sooner or longer with these Zerglings nibbling away.
Yeah, and this is just, I mean, every Terran player that goes in is like, oh, okay, let's chose to spawn and put first, all right. And the SCV is denied.
Aww. Poor little guy. All right, so from there on out, jjakji not really adding on much else just yet. Can't.
I mean, most Terran players, when they see the spawner pool, usually think like, oh, it's kind of weird because are you scared of a 2-ranks here? Are you planning something a little bit different? I mean, why? And then obviously they're usually a little bit concerned with what a potential follow-up could be. But I think that VortiX, I mean, not VortiX, sorry, jjakji, should be feeling confident. VortiX isn't a player who goes aggressive all the time.
And he actually pulled off an SCV here to help and aid this Marine. With the 2nd Marine now coming out, should be fine. But that's an interesting little move.
Oh, he gets in.
Sneaks in.
And he goes straight for the 2nd gas.
Wow. That's a nice little scout there from VortiX.
Yes,
I wasn't expecting him to get in.
This map is a little bit tricky for Zerg. It's a little bit awkward because of the 3rd base is kind of a pain to get and deal with. There's the 2,000 hit point debris in between. Creep spread is often very difficult as well to spread properly down south here as well. Especially because that's where your 4th should be as well. If you think about it, you're not really going to take the gold base. So you'd be one taking your third slightly south of the natural, then the fourth slightly south of that as well. So if you think about the creep spread around the fourth, which obviously needs to be there eventually, can be a little bit tricky some to do so against parade pushes through the middle of the map here from jjakji.
And the little drone is heading on down to the third now here. He hasn't actually spotted the wall of jjakji, so he doesn't know that the third command center is coming in super fast for jjakji as well. In a defensive posture, because he does know that VortiX can be a tricky guy, so having a nice big health pool on one of the buildings at the front can always help out.
And no need to spend supply depots in the wall or something like that.
True, true, true.
The first 10 lings are being built now. This is to push back any Hellions that come onto play, which are obviously timed up very nicely because there are 2 Hellions coming into play.
Yep. Instantly going to the third as well. Having a look around over there. So going to start tickling away at that. Queens would have a really hard time at doing anything, but he just pokes, goes, has a look around, sees it, knows that speed would have been on the way because of the gas that was already done there pretty early, so doesn't really want to be hanging around in a cul-de-sac.
And single expensive, or more so expensive, Marauder than Marine has been built here from jjakji, just in case there were going to be roaches.
Greedy. jjakji, double engineering bay as well. Whoa, Marines, where are you going? I mean, Hellions. All right. Well,
Cass got damage done that way earlier.
Yeah. Wasn't the most amazing push there, though. Some weak Hellions, they're going to have to retreat on back and get healthy, but at least they didn't die, which is not too terrible.
So double evolution chamber going to come in here for VortiX. Does he want to play Zergling style again? Does he want to just play his traditional style? Does he want to try and end it faster and play a Roach Hydra game? Choices can be played now from his upgrades.
Good little wall positioning. It's actually funny because technically you put them over there, it's nice. If you put them over here on the left-hand side, then it kind of limits your position and speed to the third base as well. So minor, but important.
Good creep spread already from VortiX. A scan reveals double engine or single engineering bay, but sees all gases taken and a very healthy drone count and drones still being transferred.
Yeah.
Circling style it shall be from VortiX.
And we have even the rocks being broken down here. So jjakji can take his third base. He saw with the amount of drones at that natural that he should be completely fine actually securing this base this fast.
With minimal units, but Hellions alive to help against any Ling run around. So jjakji's had a very, very good and powerful start in this game, going untouched so far. And a sacrificial overload, which really just won't do much inside this main base. Kind of hard to get any information.
Poor little Zergling tried to spot the third base as well, but was denied, so he's going to have to send out another one. Which is a bit annoying. So eventually he'll spot that out. Oh, he was
Gets
going around to
nothing,
the top.
that overload inside the main.
Did he not see anything?
Nothing.
Aww. Here come the Hellions. Do a bit of roasting action, then run away.
But so far, you know, good game. Macro game from both. Minimal mistakes, obviously, because neither of them are being pressured into anything. But a very similar game from VortiX and jjakji, like it was from VortiX and Cass to start us off. Which was macro.
And at least on this map for VortiX, I think, as long as he's got good overlord positioning on the very top of his, towards his main, he'll be able to kind of react accordingly once this fourth base is up and running and spread his units out for some kind of drop play. So he should be all right.
Yeah, that's definitely something he'll do now with overload speed finishing up.
Yeah.
Spread those overloads a little bit easier.
Still good creep spread. Still very aggressive with it, making it all the more annoying for jjakji because he's going to have to start clearing this up eventually, and it's going to take longer the further it's out. But this is the good spot to like start denying it, right? At the middle position of the map, making sure it's not on your side.
Moving out even before medivacs are ready here. Just getting a bit of damage done. Obviously a little bit risky if there were Balians to be ready already, but they're not, so it's okay.
Don't have centrifugal hooks, a little bit more difficult for VortiX to be able to take these engagements. As he does poke forwards once again, transforms the Hellbats, but the Banelings are already walking on through. He needs to get good connections with these, and in the end, without centrifugal hooks, doesn't do too badly, but, well, turns back and kills the rest.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. Yeah, pretty good. 10 more Banelings been moved in. Spire almost done here, but a lot of gas has been expended already. 12, 17 drones.
I really like how the Marines are positioned on this little cliff above it. Like a sentinel position, making sure that nothing can push on further. Ooh, pick up and run away.
Nice queen kills there.
How did he get that second one? Well, okay, he did.
One last Marine just threw his gun.
Oh, well. What do we have happening? A few more Mutalisks actually going to pop out now, so just going to start adding up to those numbers.
But VortiX already on his fourth base nice and early, getting that extra gas income, and so far jjakji's not really done anything to his opponent. Didn't really slow the creep spread down too much. Hasn't got any damage in.
Yeah, really
But
doesn't know much
the
about
best
that.
and biggest timing here is going to be, well, it's not even that big of a timing here, but when 2-2 is done, but it's, I was comparing the both upgrades, they're actually very similar. There's only 5-10 second window, so.
Yeah, very difficult to do anything during that. And he still needs to shut down the creep spread. He still needs to somehow do damage elsewhere.
Unbelievable creep spread in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard because, unfortunately for jjakji, even if he tries to go for a medevac drop up to the top, the overlords are already there. Creep spread a little bit is already spreading out in that direction. Even the fourth is well protected by creep spread. So jjakji's slowly getting himself pinned into a corner.
He's got to take a good fight soon, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, VortiX can start to run away with this. Already getting the infestation pit down. He's in a very comfortable position, being untouched so far.
Is it just me, or is Cass's macro better than jjakji's?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. This doesn't... I mean, jjakji, yes, of course, he is kind of equaling up to VortiX now, but when we were seeing Cass going up against VortiX, he was out-macroing VortiX.
All right, first test for VortiX. Does he stop that medivac up north with his Mutalisks?
He should be able to.
He's got to spot it early. That's why he's actually put overlords here.
Yeah. And it's a big dot on the map, so he should be able to see that pretty quickly. Not mobilizing just yet, trying to deal with the middle push.
I don't think he's spotted it yet.
No, I don't think so either, because right now he's just completely occupied in the middle, going to push a lot of this away. Did a lot of banelings just die there? Okay, so he's got the 26 at the back.
He hasn't spotted it still.
Why is he not reacting? Well, he's going to lose the spawning pool.
Didn't spot it. He spotted it at the very first overlord at the north, but late reaction there from VortiX.
Oh,
saw
dear.
that, didn't see that. Well, just saw that once it was already dropped in.
Well, that certainly hurts his position here. He's going to have to just go for Mutalisks alone. Well, technically he's up to 15. Wouldn't mind a few more in his composition, but how many banelings does he have? 34. He's got 90 Zerglings. I don't think a follow-up push can really do massive amounts. It has to be a trade and then a push again really fast if he wants to do something.
A lot of Widowmines here.
2 spawning pools. All right, well, compensation in his spawning pool. Banelings trying to roll forwards once again, trying to get good engagements, do a little bit of damage up on the top and pushing all the way down on the south, but jjakji's still keeping on top of his macro. 14 Marines in production at any given time.
And a trade-off there from both sides. Yeah, pretty much a trade-off, very equal in supply at that point. But there's going to be the 4th base taken uncontested, and also 3-3 on the way here, which is a massive opportunity for jjakji. Decent amount of creep spread was denied throughout all of those pushes. And test number 2 here for VortiX, because those are the way that he was losing against Cass. He has the medivac up north.
And the Mutalisks, I think they just
spot
spotted
it
that.
this time.
Yeah, they're swinging
he's already
up there.
Well, did he spot it? It's the big question.
If he didn't, well, it looks like he didn't. Well, come on. He should too. He has to have now. I mean, it's in vision of all of these overlords.
Still didn't spot it.
Oh my.
Changed his Mulist position again, and he's going to get dropped once again down here.
Is VortiX a little bit on tilt here in this game? I mean...
I don't think tilt's the right way to describe it, but definitely making mistakes.
Well, the spawning pool's going to die, but thankfully for him, he made 2 of them, so it doesn't matter too much. It was a bait spawning pool, guys. Just don't worry about it. Banelings try and roll forwards against this, but jjakji is prioritizing this middle push and divides his forces very nicely.
Very solid macro here by jjakji, and he just needs to back off a little bit more. Doesn't want to overcommit. This is a mistake that Cass made earlier, right before 3-3 was done. Just wait for 3-3.
Especially since he might think that there's no spawning pool. So, because there is one still available to him after he just sniped that one out to the top.
Okay. Go together is 200 supply now, and this is probably the perfect fight for jjakji to take.
How many Marines? 40 Marines, 2 Thors, 7 Widow Mines. Those Widow Mines need the connections. There's actually a lot of Marines.
Another drop here. The 3rd drop of the game is going to get themselves on the 5th base. Not sure it can kill it off. Can definitely destroy the drones, but...
Yeah, do a little bit down here. The army of Lings and Banelings is just ready and waiting to actually jump down there. Splits off just a little bit to clean that up.
He's going to try it, but this is the push there. VortiX is going to have a very hard time dealing. If he can stop this push, he gets himself towards the Ultras Cavern and better upgrades.
Banelings. Okay, so not that many died to those Widow Mines. They got a few detonations on some of those Marines up to the north, but the push continues on here as jjakji tries to establish himself. At least he clears the creep spread through the middle of the map, and he's dropping up to the north again.
Yeah, this one's been spotted, though. This one should be dealt with without too much losses.
Yeah, Mutalisks are there ready and waiting to go. If he'd have shut down all of these drops during this game, I think he would have been in a much better position than he is now. But it's 200-200. He has a bit of a Marine bank. And again, that second spawning pool actually did him a world of good during that second snipe.
All right, well, jjakji cleared up a lot of creep now. He's going to start pushing to this 5th. There's a beautiful place here for him to start breaking through if he gets rid of that debris. Widow Mine's in front and behind.
And he's establishing the gold base that he's always pushing towards anyway and through. So he can defend that whilst pushing on forwards. Maybe if a few Zerglings get split off towards it, though, it would cause him a little bit of a headache. But he's looking to just always pressure down this avenue anyway.
This is a great position to be in.
Yeah. Looking to try and now slowly move up towards this base, forcing the denial on all of the income at the here. And VortiX can't fight it. VortiX has to fall back. He doesn't think he can do it. Ooh, nice shot.
And the gold base being taken at the same time here. One base down for VortiX, one extra base going up for jjakji.
So far, jjakji on point, pushing forwards here. Ultralisks as well as 3-3 and Chitinous Plating are on the way, but it's going to be another drop towards an extra base. VortiX moved his units just a little bit there, so should be ready for that one.
Yeah, these 3 Ultras are going to help out for sure, but there are, you know, a decent amount of Marauders. Not heavy amounts, but decent amounts.
Another medevac heading up to the north here, looking to, well, he could actually drop and try and deny that gold base, but he's going to push through the middle once again. Getting on top of this 5th base would be a nice start. He's also trying to do a bit at that base, but Baneling's moving forwards. How much are they really going to get done? Gets a few of those Widow Mines as well and kills them all off before a lot of them detonate, or 1 or 2 of them detonate, and pushes this away.
The 5th gold base was killed off, by the way. Unfortunately, these Mulists really haven't been able to get into the medevac count this game.
Yeah, they've had a really hard time actually keeping up, I think, with jjakji.
Yeah.
jjakji's playing fast.
And jjakji drops into the main base right at the back here. And this isn't even really to do any damage. This is just like, go defend that while I take my gold base and rebuild. Then I'm ready to go again. But the Ultras count is rising now. It really depends on the engagement and the Marauder count. Because Ultras are good. They're very, very good. And right now, that jjakji's a little bit weak. 2 medevac drops going up.
And as both players are forced to gold, this is where conflicts become all the more tense because they are right on each other's doorsteps at this point with their most valuable mining bases. So VortiX now is poking around, wants to get the Sensor Tower at least to make sure he can limit his opponent's vision.
All right, great Aspire on the way as well. So great army that is trying to be built up here by VortiX.
A lot of Ultras.
Yeah.
And there's only 8 Marauders. He is mixing in 2 at a time, but it's going to take a little while for those to get into play.
But there's double drops inside the main base, which has to pull VortiX back. No matter if he went in there and could win the fight, he has to deal with this drop.
Yeah. And that might pull him away from the gold, and he could get that denial as well if he gets that, whilst also dropping, getting the Ultralisk Cavern, if he gets the gold as well. But the army is just there, ready and waiting.
The Hive.
Is he going to get the Hive?
No, shouldn't.
Trying to get this gold base. He has a position against it with this, with the gold minerals kind of sealing off, and he gets it.
Yeah, good denial. VortiX only on 4 bases all game long. Cannot find a 5th base anywhere, as he's always being stopped. But the Great Aspire switch, which I talked about briefly before, has not been spotted at all. There are no Vikings. There's only Thors and Marines. And to be honest, as good as jjakji's macro's been, he is lacking in minerals and would have to stop every other production to get the starports in and then try to build the Vikings. So there is a window here with these Broodlords to just march over the other side of the map and potentially end the game.
And what if the Broodlords actually come when he's maxed out and has to like trade away some of his units to actually free up the supply? That could really hinder him here if he doesn't spot it in the right time.
Yeah. This is a big part that jjakji's forgotten about here, or at least doesn't know about.
I wonder if he looks at, well, no, because you'd think that the gas was in Ultralisks then. I was about to say, I wonder if he looks at this Mutalisk count and is like, wait a minute, that's not very high. But of course, again, the Ultralisks are there. So it's very difficult for jjakji to read into without actually having full intel on that Great Aspire.
Another 5th base denied here. And now VortiX trying to secure that gold with 3 spines and now Broodlords above it.
Really tense game so far. jjakji is really putting the pressure onto VortiX, and VortiX is just looking for the big macro outburst.
There's 6 mines or something above the north pit here. Imagine if the few Mulists go into that. Yeah. Scan sees nothing.
It's just in the middle here. Catches the medevac down to the bottom left-hand corner with the Mutalist. The Mutalist are way out of position to do
2 starports coming in. Safety precautions. He doesn't know about the Broodlords, but
a lot of SCVs in the middle. He's
just in case. So, to be honest, with the reaction of the starports coming in anyway, just in case, he might have enough time to get enough Vikings out. But until that,
though?
No, not yet.
The Broodlords are now barreling down on this location in the middle.
Now he sees it.
This is VortiX's time.
Yes.
This is actually VortiX's time to go. All right.
He's got a little window here because once the Vikings start coming out, this becomes very difficult.
Baneling's morphing in. VortiX knows that he has an opportunity here after keeping these Broodlords hidden for a long time. Uh-oh. Sense tower goes down, but there's 2 extra ones to be able to help out, so it doesn't really matter. Gonna try and poke on forwards here. See what he can do.
All right, so here we go. Broodlords launching up.
There's drops on the left-hand side of this map as well. Trying to do some damage to both of these bases. And this Planetary Fortress is gonna fall. How many Vikings does he have right now? He doesn't even have 4 the first 4 rounds. The Broodlords are really the linchpin of this, and they're doing so much for VortiX.
Is he going to break him with the Broodlords before Vikings are ready? There's drops everywhere here. Oh my gosh, jjakji.
Yeah. He's just said, well, I guess I can't deal with this at all. He actually brought a Thor with one of these drops. But everything is being ripped apart by the Broodlords. They will eventually die, but jjakji, with the Krause's management, to be able to do what he could with drops and then retain the majority of his army behind this, he might be able to shut this down with the Vikings out.
This is a very close game now. A race. I don't know.
I can't observe everything, man. I'm not a good enough observer to do this. Infeza, Funker, where are you, please?
Yeah, there is a lot of drops all over the place. Base has been killed off here. And VortiX does not have a lot of money. That's the big problem here. So if the Vikings start to get to these Broodlords, it is going to be very hard to build anything else in this game.
Ooh, a little sad for this bio, though, on the ground to actually be caught up in that little choke point. As the bio on this left-hand side doing some damage. He's being pushed away in the middle because of the Broodlords.
VortiX only has this army, which is 5 Broodlords supported by 6 Corruptors. That's pretty much all he has in this game, with the 7 Ultras and 9 Banelings on the ground as well. But I think the ground army, it's all about the air army so much more than the ground.
Yeah, the ground army is now looking for bases up here. Widow mines burrow and actually kill off a lot of Banelings, but so he doesn't really want to be taking those trades.
Well, how many Marauders are there? 6 Marauders, 30. God, it's so close.
6 Vikings against... Well, he's got some Corruptors here as well to help these guys out.
I think that maybe he can do it here, jjakji. VortiX, sorry.
Yeah?
It's close, but oh no, the Broodlords in the middle.
Ah! They're so vulnerable! So vulnerable! All the Corruptors have died as well! Uh-oh. Well...
Okay, the Broodlords go down.
That's a big deal.
And now it's 7 Ultralists and 12 Banelings, and there is no money to replenish this, versus 4 Thors, 9 Marauders, 37 Marines. That army, with a gold base still running, kind of if he repairs the planetary, and other bases mining, he's going to be able to build enough here, I think.
Don't burn down little planet. Yeah, okay, he realizes. But at the same time, the army could just come and poke it and it would die. But the army should be there to reinforce and deny that from being poked. Ah! Okay, Ling's going to flip through. No, this is just too much. That's too much force to the Terran here. Too much. Yes, the planetary fortress falls, but so too will all these Ultralisks. There you go. GG. Game number 1 goes to jjakji. What a game to start things off in this series.
Yeah, that was a very solid game from him. Very macro-oriented, and VortiX was falling further and further behind. Then he made a big switch, but it wasn't quite enough to be able to bring the game in his favor. But a good attempt and a very strong macro game. But another thing to notice is that's another macro game that VortiX has lost today. Now, if he keeps on playing macro games, is he going to lose another one? Does he need to change it up because he isn't able to win these games? He's missing a lot of medevac drops. You know, we saw 3, I think, that were missed in the earlier stages, which he had overlord vision of, just didn't see them. So this is dangerous for VortiX, who is facing elimination now from this very next map.
Yeah. VortiX going out in the round of 32 will, in essence, have a big impact on what happens here in WCS Europe, because he has always been that guy who has been super stable. Round of 32, win. Round of 16, normally win. Yep. Goes on to the round of 8. He's been in so many round of 8s here in WCS Europe, and now being 1 game away from elimination, massive switch. Absolutely massive. And
this is a very, very difficult group here for every single player in it. But unfortunately, it's VortiX, the one that isn't being able to keep up with the other players in his group. He's already lost versus Cast today, and he's facing elimination now against jjakji. A very difficult game to actually have as the low bracket one, because this is meant to be the winner one. For a lot of people who are expecting the way that this group could unfold, but that is not the way that it folds out very often in WCS Europe. Lots of surprises, lots of results go the way you least expect them to do. And now we're going to have to see a big step up in game or change from VortiX now, because like I said, he's lost pretty much every single macro game he's played today. Now is the time to do something. And in the end, for VortiX, yeah, the macro hasn't worked. Do we see him go back to his previous style of actually really mixing things up, really being a little bit aggressive?
So it's difficult. It's a difficult position.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would never, ever say to VortiX, come on, man, you can't play macro games today. You know, change it up. Then you play becomes very one-dimensional. I would say to him, come on, man, you are good enough to do it. You know, go again. But that has been the case so far today. You know, go again and try again. But he's consistently lost here, and it's in a day where you're not performing as good as usual, it's just 2 best of 3s and you're gone. Yeah. There is very little room to step up the game or very little room to change things up. And unfortunately, he has to do it now. He has to do it 1 game or elimination, and jjakji would move through. All
right, let's get into it. Game number 2, Nimbus is our map as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our blue Terran. Representing my insanity, it is jjakji. And up to the top right, we have our red Zerg representing Millennium. It's VortiX.
All right. So, Nimbus here. Player to top right to bottom right. Let's have a look, thinking through VortiX. Again, the 4th base does become a slight problem here. jjakji's pushes are mostly going to be going towards the 4th and drops to the natural here in the kind of that fork motion.
Yeah.
So that is something absolutely you need to be careful of. Unfortunately here for VortiX, he's scouted with the first overalls in the incorrect way, so will not get a very easy scout of what jjakji's up to. Yep. Whether it be Command Center or Reaper.
It's going to take a whole lot longer for that second one to get there, unfortunately. So VortiX, I really think he has to mix things up, man. I really do. Whether it's, you know, he's a little bit apprehensive about doing that nowadays because Widow Mines can be very powerful against offensive plays or whatever it may be.
I mean, if VortiX just goes for some kind of aggressive play and, for example, jjakji counters it with Hellion Banshee or something like that, he is going to be read like a book and it's going to be very easy for jjakji.
Yeah, I guess so. He's going to go half a hatchery first here to start things off in this game. But
VortiX is the type of player who will just do it again. You know, do it again. Play the same again, just do it better this time. Not easy, though, to play like that.
No, not at all. At least his creep spread is on point during all of these games. I've got to give him that. He really, really flourishes with it. But in the end, he keeps getting ripped apart from left to right, from left to right, from left to right by these Terrans. Very difficult to play against if you're playing up against a good Terran like jjakji, for example. Like Cass has actually played brilliantly in his series. He surpassed my expectations.
All right, so again, VortiX has gone for the gas here, and we'll be using that as he's done every game, I would imagine, so far, just defensively. But jjakji really dominant today so far. Very good. A slight hiccup earlier, but overall his macro has been looking rather clean.
Gas been added on, so looking to just go up to the factory, I guess, from here is jjakji. I mean, you could add on a Reaper, but factory for me is more common in this part. Well, looking around, sees the gas has been taken here, knows that speed will be on the way anytime soon, even goes for a drone there for a second. jjakji, this is an ambitious move. I'm not sure he's really going to get that.
No, he's not. So, yeah. Not going to be able to do that. Legs do pop out. We'll push this back nice and easy. And it looks like we are going to see a 3rd command center from jjakji.
Oh, Roach Warren.
Factory first. Oh, dear.
I felt that VortiX had to do something like this. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, every single game so far, he's gotten the gas at the same time and then just got Zergling speed, then pulled out. So he's masked this very well through what he's done earlier today. He knows this is a command center first. VortiX looks like this type of play.
The Zerglings, unfortunately for them, can't get up the ramp. And I don't even think he saw that reactor going down, so...
No, I mean, the reactor doesn't matter. He's already chosen what he's going to do, so it's... The big thing is I'm looking at if jjakji was to try to play Banshee or not, but it does look like it's just going to be a 3rd command center play, which would favor VortiX in doing this. And we're going to go out to quite a few roaches here.
Yes, we are. This is how I always remember the VortiX of old in this matchup.
Yeah,
so.
And it is going to be 3rd command center. Everything's lined up well for this to work for VortiX. 7, 8 roaches on the way. It's going to break down that supply depot pretty fast here.
Yeah.
And this is going to be hard to not take damage.
Especially with only Hellions and a few Marines. It's not exactly the ideal composition that you want against this. How many roaches is he going to have? Is it 7? He's adding on another 2 already, going up to 9 pretty darn fast. Did he Did he get speed? Or
No. You cancel this with this.
Yeah, okay, so it's just straight to roaches.
Yeah, straight to roaches, then speed, then drones after this. And SCV is going to help this. It will help its cause.
Oh, good job, SCV.
Yeah, it helps a little bit here. So he gets a bit of a heads up. It's still not going to be easy to hold here.
Yeah.
Not easy at all.
That's on his bunker, but right now all he has is insufficient firepower. The Overlord's trying to come in, poke, and see what's going on, but the roaches will get the intel eventually.
There is like no units here.
Okay, so one Hellion dies on the wrong side of this wall, and he's just going to get a few SCVs as well for their troubles. They're not even... He's not even bothering to focus down the supply depot because he knows it'll just get repaired there. But these SCV kills are very, very nice. A single roach hasn't even died yet. There goes the first one.
Every SCV that dies is bad. Bad news bears.
Yeah, he's already got 8, 9, 10. It's going to keep going because he just doesn't have the right number of units out here. 3 Marines trying to work away at this.
These attacks are so difficult to hold without taking damage.
And look, overall, it's like 30-some workers to 28. So 38 to 28.
And VortiX has his third on the way. He's got gas, surging speed pretty much finished up. A successful attack there for VortiX.
At least the 2 Widow Mines come out and shoo that away. In previous iterations of the game, that could have been even more damage if the Widow Mines hadn't popped out just at the right time.
Yeah, good start here for VortiX. He gains himself a lead in this one. We'll go into the mid part with that advantage. Let's see if he can carry that lead, though. Will he make mistakes to slip up here? He built a lot of overlords while doing this, and has opened himself up quite big where he doesn't need to build any overlords for a little while here, so can focus very heavily on his economy and also his tech. 34 SCVs to 41, and third command center will finish up soon. It's not a massive lead, but it is a lead nonetheless.
More roaches and lings on the way as well. Is
well...
I'm quite surprised by the roaches. Are they just trying to deter any Hellion play, or is it actually going to go for this again? It looks like he's going to go.
When he's not getting a layer, which is definitely something that's missing at this point.
I think he's just going.
Yeah, he's going to try again. I mean, not try again, but will go again.
But with Banelings this time, where are the Widow Mines?
Yeah, the Lings are on the left-hand side of jjakji's base.
He's just loaded up the Widow Mines. He's going elsewhere. Whoa.
Yeah, follow-up attack.
All right, then. All right, then.
Yeah. All right, well,
he can't shut down the Widow Mines for one.
No, he can't, and I don't think he'll care at that point. Hopefully, he would have mined enough money to where this attack is already going to have enough units to kill him off, because if it didn't, then, yeah, that's obviously problematic. jjakji's seen nothing of the sort of this kind of attack until now. He sees more roaches, he's like, no way.
What are you doing?
There's another attack. So more bunkers are going to be made here, but this one looks good, man.
All right, one Widow Mine burrows itself in the natural. Only gets 3 kills, or 2 kills even, because it got a kill in previously.
jjakji's going to hopefully kill off his opponent's economy while trying to defend this.
Not a bad attempt here. Already getting a little bit of damage done in the third base as well. Widow Mine did hit that queen, but didn't fully kill it off. But here come the Banelings, crashing on through. SCVs try and repair, but there's not much more to be able to do there, as that's a lot of roaches. He actually doesn't have that many units back at home. He has no units, period, really, across the map. There's just a few more left over here, but this could work for VortiX.
Yeah, there's a lot of units going to be streamed over as well in terms of Lings. Granted that jjakji's done quite a bit of damage to the economy, but...
Oh, doesn't hold the bunker. He tries to bring SCV down. A lot of damage is going to be done here to jjakji.
Single bunker. Going to try and hold with a single Marauder in.
Against 40 Lings and 10 roaches with Banelings morphing in your main base. I'm not sure that this is going to work out for our Terran.
Aggressive VortiX is aggressive, and he does change it up. The 2 series we've seen him, he's managed to change it up now, and he does take a game in his favor. But the thing is, more importantly than winning this one, and he does prevent the 2-0 and just stay in the tournament. But what does he do in game 3? Because now that we've seen him change up, there shouldn't really be a way for him to do something again, right? Does he go back to what he's done before? But whatever the case, whatever the choice he's going to make, depending on what he does in this next one, he does equalize up the series. He's not dead. He lives to fight another map here in WCS. And the last time he was in this position too, which was last season when he dropped to the low bracket game, he bounced back really well, to be honest. Not as shaky as this one, but bounced back really, really well to go to the decider game, where then he went easily through Tefl there in the decider game. But we'll see if he can do it here. It would be a remarkable comeback, but he would be knocking out jjakji, who is still in hunt this year for a very, very good result, or should I say tournament victory. More so than good result. He's had a couple of top 4s, but he wants a win, and he hasn't been able to get one yet.
No, he has not. Third map's going to be King Sage on station. I wouldn't be surprised at all if VortiX just said, well, to hell with it, I'm just going to go aggressive again, considering how the game flows have been going. He hasn't been doing I mean, he's had nice macro games, but hasn't been winning them consistently.
Right.
And then coming into the aggressive one, he's like, well, actually, yeah, that kind of worked. So, but it's not as clean-cut as that, obviously, in StarCraft. Not as clean-cut. jjakji is no doubt going to be saying, all right, it's time to scout out every little thing you could possibly try and do here. It's time to take extra precautions, get myself into that macro game, and then try and beat you through that.
Well, we'll see. VortiX now still just that one map away from facing elimination. Likewise, jjakji facing elimination here. Sad to see these players in the lower bracket of today's group, but also awesome to see Harston doing well again and Cass doing well, which will be our next game on stream here as we cross the halfway point in WCS Europe in the round 32. Lagging a little bit behind the Korean, within the GSL Korean region and, of course, the American region. Both have gone quite deep into that, well, should I say, Korea deep into the round of 16, and America just now starting up. We will catch up with them shortly, as there's a lot of action to come. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then, of course, next Tuesday to finish our round of 32. All
right, the deciding match in our third series of the night, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. It's our red Terran, representing My Insanity. It's jjakji. And up to the top left, it's our blue Zerg, representing Millennium. It's VortiX.
All right. Last time we saw VortiX play on this map in the early series, he did open up spawning full first in case there was a 2 barracks or some kind of 8 racks Reaper, which is something else which has been used before. This again can work well for the similar style that we saw from VortiX. He could go for a similar roach attack for sure. But I think jjakji is going to be a little bit more reactionary to what could come his way, because likewise, as much as VortiX doesn't want to be eliminated, neither does jjakji, who can be a tournament, tournament favorite on a good day for sure. If he's performing well, he's definitely capable of beating anyone in this season, in this league.
Yeah. It's really, really sad that we have to lose one of these guys in the round of 32. But that's how the cookie crumbles in the end. They didn't perform well enough in their opening games. And as always, everybody in the European scene is so hungry, so hungry. It's epitomized by seeing Cass and Harston go through their first series here. Absolutely. So it's really great to see the depth of Europe just kind of pull through. And jjakji is not performing to how he expects to be in the European scene now. It's just definitive. He just isn't.
All right, spawn and pull first by VortiX. He's going to do the same again on this map. It is the safer of his 2 options here. And he could, as did before, squeeze maybe a couple of lings around to get towards the command center. Didn't quite work as well as he would hope for in the previous one, but could do again, whereas we see jjakji Reaper again. Just standardized opening here. Command center first is viable, but more risky, especially against players in any region, really, that do go for early spawn and pulls. I think Hyun uses it a lot recently, which is the 6-ling opening to cancel a 3rd against the command center first. You are in trouble. So Reaper is the standard.
2 lings, and then not much more than that. He may, as you say, just rally those around. As with all of this, now jjakji looks to take that command center. Will be spotted very, very fast here by VortiX, but he obviously knows exactly what's going to be happening. And we'll even see that Reaper pop on out and look to run on around. So where are you going to go, Lings? Are you going to go all the way around, or are you just going to...
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they are currently. I mean, they're leaving the main base, right? So, yeah. Oh, Reaper's chilling in the middle.
But he still may miss them if he's, doing the patrol up there, I was going to say. Now he should spot them.
That's good there by jjakji. So really anticipating his opponent's moves earlier on.
Yeah, looking around in case there's the 6-lings at the south.
I really, really like that by jjakji. Very, very good awareness of the situation.
Without even knowing.
Yep. Oh. Did he go back into vision of the Overlord? I think the Reaper did, right? So now he's actually just changing the kind of direction of these lings. And he's going to just try and use the second one as a scout, because the first one's already been spotted. But he's like, wait a minute, only one Zergling? So he has to be kind of wary, but hasn't exactly twigged on. There's 2 Marines out there in time to be able to poke it away. That was... Yeah, as our famous American would say.
Single gas from jjakji, with no Overlord that is very close to spotting a single or double gas, because it is on the right-hand side. But is going to get shut down by 2 Marines here.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's kind of sad for him. And he got in and saw double gases being taken behind all of that.
Oh.
Why does that keep happening?
Very close. He's going to be safe there.
Yeah, I think so. Nope.
Lucky, lucky.
Nice try, Marines. Nice try. Okay, starport's on the way.
Yeah.
Please, just Viking, and then there's like one volley.
This is the flash build.
Is it? Oh, what did he... Yeah.
So this should be, if it's a medivac here, this is going to be dropping the Marines on the natural, and then the Hellions run round.
Look at Roach Warren, Sean. And he's throwing it away from the Reaper, so if the Reaper...
with the Roach Warren being built here...
more for defensive purposes, do you think?
I'm not sure exactly. It's not the same type of build, for sure, because it's a lot later on.
Layer on the way.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play Roach Hydra this game. Roach Hydra, by the looks of it. But this doesn't change the fact that this is Flash's drop with 8 Marines or so and the Hellions to run around. This can do a lot of damage, and it definitely hasn't been spotted and won't be spotted at all.
Yeah, very difficult.
And without any units, there's only 4 Queens. It's not really good enough. Okay, this is actually 6 Marines, sorry.
And it's not like he ever got speed as well to kind of...
Oh, this is going to be a big surprise to VortiX. He's got no idea this is happening.
And it's kind of scary. He, has the 4 Queens, 4 Lings. That's about it. Starts some Roaches now, so eventually they will pop out in time, but the Hellions poking away at the front. Here come the Marines at the back. Already got a few kills for themselves. Hellions trying to get in desperately, but the Queens will hold the line.
Not a lot of damage done yet, though, really. He does see that this is Roach playing a single evolution chamber, so must start building Marauders and bunkers at home.
Oh, Reaper's in the back as well. 3 kills, 4 kills, along with these Marines being very, very annoying. Hellions once again at the front, still can't get in. VortiX holds the line. Good transfuse on a Queen, but he's got 10 kills with this.
Yeah, pretty good. And he started Marauder production at home. I would imagine he might need some Widow Mines, just in case.
Oh, he even picked up the Reaper. That was great to save that as well.
This Medivac may get shot down.
Ah! Queen.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh. Oh, well. Okay.
There's not that many Roaches, only 6. But a decent set of units killed, 10.
Spire.
Interesting. That's not so...
That's not so Hydralisk Den.
No, that's not very common at all here. Very unorthodox build from VortiX. Like, Roach Warren, fast layer, but then a +1 attack, and then switches over. Okay, wow.
Melee.
He's completely switched back here.
Is he trying to sell a story here?
I'm not sure. Not sure at all. Obviously, Marauder's being made 1 by 1 right now. But let's say if he gets enough
tanks
gas,
as well.
yeah, if he gets enough gas here and goes mutalist without it being spotted, he could do severe amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Without any turrets to be expected to be built here.
Everything is being committed to a ground army right now. I mean, of course, there will be Marines on the way at some point with the double engineering bay finishing up, but he's delayed his extra barracks for that double engineering bay, so... Well... I say that, command center's on the way. There's no signs of any push just yet. Gonna try and go for this drop here into the natural. Sees the Spire and has to be, well, if you're gonna be doing that, why am I building siege tanks?
Well, he spotted the Spire and double Evo, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Medivac drop unsuccessful. And the game continues on from this point. The 3rd base will be taken very shortly here from jjakji. These 1-1 upgrades are... Wait, jjakji doesn't even have 1-1.
He did, yeah. The double engineering bay was...
just now starting.
Yeah.
I thought he'd actually had them on the way, but...
Where's the extra 2 barracks now going down with this?
This is a decent setup for VortiX, actually, now come to think about and look at it around.
Yeah. It's actually very strange how the Roaches... kind of lured his opponent down a small path for that while with the 1 siege tank, with a few more orders on the way. But for now, I mean, that's just not the case. How many? He doesn't have a huge amount of marauders, I guess, so it wasn't too bad an overcommittal. But all in all, I mean, his 3rd base here for jjakji is ever so much later than what we're seeing from VortiX, who's had that for quite a while now.
Well, there's this squad of units moving forward here. I'm not very sure how much damage they can do. There's a decent amount of banelings out already, and on creep, I mean, there is not as good, but they're good enough at this stage of the game with banelings with speed. And mutalists to chase down and hurt too. So be careful here.
Tries to push on once again. Clears up the creep. Retreats on out. Doesn't want to be taking engagements just yet.
Yes, well, Baneling Speed's now going to complete. This is it's very good here for VortiX to accept this.
If he went on the right-hand side, cleaned up the creep there as well, though, he would be shutting a lot of it down so far. But again, it's all about if you can get the positioning on it, because, as you said, Centrifugal Hooks is done.
Yeah, no fourth hatchery started, and a clear up of creep to help future attacks down this pathway is going to be very good here. No creep on the high ground in the middle, and no creep on this right-hand side either.
It's a really nice start.
This is, yeah, not very good for future attacks here for VortiX. Obviously a lot harder to engage off creep.
Marine blocks this location as well, slowing down the fourth.
Picks up a Medivac there.
Ah!
2 Medivacs.
Oh, did he get one with the Mutalist initially, as I was looking elsewhere? Okay, so... And 1-1's about to complete for him, but he needs that to kind of keep up with the upgrades here of VortiX, who, yes, technically had +1 range to begin things off, but now he's doing nicely with his 2-2.
Had a quite a tense last game between these two. One of these will be eliminated after this map. Which one is it going to be, though?
Mutalist
relatively similar. Mutalist going to swing around here. There's a turret just about going to finish up, but the tank is vulnerable, and the right-hand side of that mineral line is vulnerable as well. But Marines do come down.
Gets the tank at least. We don't mind decide to burrow. Can't really do a whole lot. Drilling Claw's not present. It takes too long.
jjakji's going to drop with a Medivac to the top right while swinging to the left-hand side.
Interception. No, okay. Never mind.
And the Mutalist are on the left-hand side, and all of VortiX should be focused on not losing this hatchery, obviously. But he's going to get dropped on his third.
And it's actually he's going to see this very late, considering its positioning that it's right there.
He saw it immediately, but.
And he's going to have to clean this up as well on the left-hand side. Big push out of here. The Banelings don't really do a whole lot.
Not a good fight. Not a good fight.
Gets denied in that third base, but at the same time, still pushing forwards. Really wants that fourth base. Marines are enough to push away the Mutalists.
Is he going to get that hatchery? Well, there's 3 Marines inside the main base, still being a nuisance here.
Oh,
looks like he survives with that 4th hatchery for now.
At least the Marines got a Mutalist. That's a nice start, but again...
It's been annoying, these 3 Marines.
Yeah, very annoying. And he can't run
with these
anymore.
4 Widow Mines, there's a chance he could clear up the Banelings and get the hatchery. Maybe. It's very optimistic, I suppose. Very optimistic.
Depends on if VortiX stretches himself out at the front, I guess. But gonna push forwards again. Drops the scan, clears up a little bit of this creep, sees the amount of Banelings that are morphing in, leaves the Marauders at the front there to tank a little bit of this damage. How much are these Widow Mines gonna do? Not a whole lot as the army continues to press on past this. There are a lot of Marines at the bottom that are trying to split against this, but the army for VortiX is quite strong here.
Yeah, he pushes it back. And there's not really much left here for jjakji.
Okay, that Thor really wants to stay alive, but it's going to be difficult to keep alive.
Yeah, 1-1 for jjakji versus 2-2 here.
This is bad.
It's upgrade advantage for VortiX, helping out so much.
This could be it. This could be it. jjakji could go out in the round of 32 once again as VortiX went all the way back, traced this army back to the roots, and just went straight for the natural, and now he's having so much of his income shut down.
Ooh. Yeah, this is not looking good, is it? Look at the supplies here. And as much as jjakji was feeling this game and loving this game, unfortunately, his upgrades is a big tell here on how he wasn't able to do very well.
There's very little army left over here for jjakji. He's on top of the production again. It's like game 1 of Cass versus VortiX. What can you do once the Zerg gets to this position?
jjakji going to be eliminated, which means we're going to get 2 Europeans through no matter what now. And unfortunately for jjakji, again, another round of 32 finish. And
can't believe it.
Now his BlizzCon's in a lot of trouble after losing here today. But VortiX managed to survive another low bracket game like he did last season. And jjakji can't believe it right now. He was doing so well in this game.
He was doing so... there you go, GG. jjakji is eliminated and VortiX advances through to the final game of the night. But jjakji, he looked so good in game number 1 against Hearthstone. He looked good against VortiX in game number 1 there, but both series just fell apart from that point on. Yeah,
it's very unfortunate to lose jjakji so early on here, but that means it is definitely 2 Europeans that will advance from today's group, tilting the favor towards the Europeans. 6 now to 4, no matter what results, who goes where in today's group. And, you know, big congratulations there for VortiX, who survives. Unfortunately, like I said, Santa lose jjakji, and that is the lower bracket game done.
All right, so guys, join us after the break when we have our winners match. It's going to be Hearthstone going up against Cass.